If you truly knew the power of a sincere prayer, you would never end a day without talking to God. My dear friend, life is a journey filled with trials. Days when the doors seem to close in front of you, when fear grips your heart, and when your dreams feel out of reach. But here's the truth. Hidden inside every prayer you whisper lies the key to breakthrough, victory, and the blessings that God has already prepared for you. Many people go through their entire lives without ever understanding what prayer truly means. They think it's just saying a few memorized words, or calling on God only when life gets hard. But prayer is not a ritual. It is a living connection between a fragile human and the Almighty Creator. It is a sacred conversation between your soul and the one who formed you. When you pray, you are not just speaking. You are trusting, surrendering, and aligning your heart with heaven. Every prayer you utter is never lost. It rises, it reaches the throne of God, and there it is remembered. It may not happen instantly, but each prayer is a seed that needs faith, patience, and divine timing to bloom. When you continue to pray daily, even when nothing seems to change, heaven is still working on your behalf. Listening to a powerful prayer each day transforms you from within. Slowly, you begin to feel lighter, calmer, more confident. The storms may still rage outside, but inside, you are anchored in peace. God never promised that life would be easy, but He did promise that you would never walk alone. Every time you open your heart, every time you bow your head, you are placing your life into the hands of the one who never fails. Imagine beginning your morning with prayer. The world outside may still be chaotic, yet your heart stands firm. You step out into your day knowing that God walks beside you. You may face challenges, but no fear can conquer you, because your faith becomes your armor. That is what prayer does. It turns ordinary people into warriors of faith. Prayer does not change God. Prayer changes you. It shapes your heart, strengthens your soul, and opens your eyes to the miracles hidden in everyday life. A smile from a stranger, an unexpected opportunity, a door that suddenly opens. These are not coincidences. They are signs that God is responding, moving, and working through your prayers. If you feel weary today, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and whisper, "Lord, I need you." That's all it takes. That small beginning can lead to a great transformation. Because when you speak to God with faith, you are not just asking, you are awakening heaven's power within you. There is no greater victory than overcoming your own fear. There is no deeper breakthrough than finding freedom in the peace of God. And it all begins with one small but genuine prayer. So listen to this powerful prayer every day. Don't just let it pass through your ears. Let it sink into your heart. Each time you listen, God plants a new seed inside you, a seed of faith, of hope, of renewal. And one day, you'll look back and realize that every miracle began at the moment you knelt down and believed that God was listening. It is in the darkest moments that the light of God shines the brightest. Life is never just a field of roses. There are days when we collapse in exhaustion, nights when tears soak our pillows, and long seasons when every door seems closed. But, my friend, it is in those very moments that God is working behind the scenes. When you feel like you're at your breaking point, that's when His power begins to move. God never allows challenges to crush you. He allows them to shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you for a greater purpose. Sometimes, God lets the storm come, not to punish you, but to train you. The storm doesn't come to drown you. It comes to teach you how to walk on water. What you see as failure may actually be the beginning of a breakthrough that your human eyes cannot yet perceive. In God's view, nothing is meaningless. Every pain has a purpose, and every challenge carries hidden grace. Think about it. Wasn't it in your weakest moments that you learned to pray with your whole heart? Wasn't it during loneliness that you truly felt the embrace of God? Every wound you carry, He sees. Every sigh you breathe, He hears. And when you cry out to Him, He doesn't remain silent. God begins to rearrange things in ways you cannot imagine, turning loss into miracles and trials into triumphs. Remember this truth. No night lasts forever. God's light is always waiting at the end of the valley of shadows. Every prayer you whisper in pain is building strength within you, molding your soul, purifying your faith, and preparing you for the moment of victory. When you finally rise, you will no longer be the same person. You will be a warrior of faith, forged through the fire but unbroken in spirit. Daily prayer does not eliminate storms, but it teaches you how to navigate through them. When your soul is anchored in God, even when everything around you falls apart, you remain unshaken. True victory is not about never falling. It's about standing up every time you fall, still believing that God is with you. Maybe right now, you are fighting your own battle against fear, anxiety, or circumstances you cannot control. But listen closely. You are not fighting alone. God is with you, and He has never lost a battle. When you are weak, He is strong for you. When you don't know what to do, stop and pray. Because one sincere prayer can change the direction of your entire life. And if these words are touching your heart right now, I want you to type "Amen" or drop a in the comments below. Let that be your public declaration of faith, a way to say, "Yes, Lord, I still believe." Your comment is not just text on a screen. It is a testimony of hope and faith that may inspire someone else who is struggling today. Because faith is not about believing when everything is fine. It's about continuing to believe when everything is falling apart. God never promised a life without hardship, but He promised His presence in every moment of it. So let prayer be your breath, and faith be your light through the darkness. When you remain steadfast in prayer, miracles start to unfold in the most unexpected ways. A door opens, an opportunity appears, a situation shifts, and then you realize that every tear you shed was not wasted. God used them to water the seeds of blessings that are now beginning to bloom. So don't lose heart. Wherever you are in your journey, keep praying. Every trial is a test, and every test carries a reward for those who endure. God is watching your perseverance, and one day He will look at you with love and say, "Well done, my faithful servant." Miracles do not come to the impatient, but to those who remain steadfast in faith. In the journey of faith, there is one lesson that God constantly teaches us. Never give up in prayer. Many people pray once, see no result, and lose heart. They assume that God did not hear them or that He has said no. But the truth is, sometimes God's silence is not rejection. It is preparation. He is testing your heart, refining your faith, and asking, "Will you trust me long enough to see my miracle unfold?" Prayer is not a magic wand that makes things happen instantly. Prayer is a journey of trust, patience, and perseverance. Every time you kneel down and pray, even when nothing seems to change, you are planting an invisible seed. That seed, nurtured by faith and watered by time, will bloom exactly when God decides the moment is right. Remember, blessings are born not in haste but in patience. When you continue to pray even when nothing moves, you are showing true faith. Faith is not proven by words but by your persistence in action. By the way you keep praying even when your heart feels empty. Many people in the Bible understood this truth deeply. Abraham waited 25 years before God fulfilled His promise. Joseph endured prison before stepping into the palace. Daniel prayed for 21 days before the angel brought the answer. None of them gave up. They kept believing, kept praying, and kept waiting. And in the end, God gave them far more than they had ever asked for. God is never early, but he is always on time. When he finally moves, everything becomes more beautiful than you imagined. Maybe you are praying for a single door to open, but God is preparing an entire new path for you to walk on. Maybe you are asking him to stop the storm, but he wants to teach you how to stand firm within it. Sometimes, God's silence is his way of strengthening you. When you receive no immediate answer, it doesn't mean he's ignoring you. It means he's working within you, shaping your character, building endurance, and preparing your heart for a greater blessing. God may not change your situation first. He changes you. Believe this. Every prayer has value. God remembers them all. He sees the tears you cry in the night, hears the words you whisper in loneliness, and holds every plea close to his heart. When the appointed time comes, he will make everything fall perfectly into place. The days you spend praying and waiting are not wasted. They are the foundation stones upon which your blessings are built. There will be moments when you feel like your prayers are unanswered, but that's when your faith is tested the most. True faith does not come from prayers that are answered quickly. It comes from prayers that continue even in silence. Keep believing, keep praying. Each day you stay consistent. You move one step closer to the miracle God has already planned for you. Those who remain steadfast in prayer understand that God's timing is not human timing. You may think you are waiting for him, but often it is God who is waiting for you to grow, to mature, to trust him fully, so that when the blessing comes, you are ready to carry it. Let prayer become the rhythm of your life. Pray when you're tired. Pray when you're hurting. Pray when you don't understand. Because when you are faithful in prayer, God is faithful in his promises. One day, you will look back and say, if God had answered me back then, I would not have been ready. But because you waited, because you endured, you were transformed. And that transformation itself is the true blessing. The blessing is not only in what you receive, but in who you become through prayer. You become stronger, wiser, and more at peace. And when your heart learns to remain consistent, you'll realize something powerful. Every miracle begins with steadfast faith and a prayer that never gave up. When God opens a door, no one can shut it. There are moments in life when you can feel that something is shifting deep within. It's not a loud miracle, not lightning striking from heaven, but a gentle stirring in your soul. Everything around you might look the same, yet inside you there's a quiet peace, a deep knowing. God is doing something. That's the first sign of his blessing drawing near. When God is about to open a door for you, it often begins with chaos. Things start to fall apart. Relationships end, plans crumble, and everything seems to resist your efforts. But in reality, God is not punishing you. He's preparing you. He's clearing your path, removing the weights that would hold you back, and making room for the new blessings he's about to pour out. Just like a room must be emptied before it can be filled again, God sometimes takes away what you thought you needed to give you what you truly need. The loss may hurt, but every removal in God's plan carries purpose, to make space for something better. When blessings are near, small signs begin to appear. It could be a small opportunity that seems insignificant but turns into something greater. It could be a new person entering your life, speaking words of encouragement at the exact moment you needed them. Or it could simply be a deep peace that settles over your heart, the kind that tells you God is in control, and you no longer need to worry. When God opens a door, you don't need to force it. You don't need to push it open with your own strength. Things begin to align naturally, quietly, and peacefully. What belongs to you will come to you, not through striving or fear, but through divine timing and grace. True blessings never miss their rightful owner. God is the master of perfect timing. Just when you think your story is over, he begins a new chapter. Just when you believe there's no way out, he carves a path through the wilderness. That's how God works. Suddenly, silently, but always on time. Sometimes his blessings don't arrive with thunder or bright lights. They come in stillness. God doesn't need noise to prove his power. He moves subtly, with one word, one moment, one gentle shift, and suddenly, your entire life changes. So, if you're in a season where everything seems to be falling apart, don't lose heart. It may mean you're standing right at the threshold of change. Every time God is about to open a new door, he allows the old things that no longer serve you to fall away. And when you feel the emptiness the most, it's often because he's preparing to fill you completely with his grace. God doesn't just open the door and leave you to walk through it alone. He steps inside with you. He walks beside you, teaching you how to use the blessing, how to protect it, and how to multiply it so that it blesses others. Because true blessing is never just for yourself. It's meant to overflow. When God opens the door, you'll know it, not with your eyes, but with your heart, because peace is the signature of his presence. No more fear, no more doubt, no more striving, only a steady trust that says, if God opened this door, I will walk through it in peace. So, if you've been praying and you begin to see these subtle signs, don't ignore them. Listen closely. Step forward in faith. Believe that every door God opens will lead you closer to your purpose, closer to his promise, and closer to the destiny he designed for you long before you were born. Every blessing you've been waiting for is not lost. It's simply waiting for the right moment to be revealed. And when that moment comes, you'll realize it was never about how hard you pushed or how long you waited. It was always about trusting the one who holds the keys. When the door finally opens, walk through it boldly. Walk with gratitude. Walk with peace. Because the same God who opened that door will also guide your every step beyond it. When you let God be the center, everything else falls into place. After all the battles, the prayers, and the doors that have been opened, the journey of blessing doesn't end. It truly begins. Because a blessing is not only about receiving what you've been asking for, but about living every day in the presence of God, allowing him to guide, protect, and transform you from within. Many people pray to receive success, peace, and miracles. But as your faith matures, you realize something deeper. Prayer is not meant to change your circumstances first, but to change your heart. Once your heart is renewed, everything else begins to align. Blessings don't always come in the form you expect. Sometimes God gives you strength to endure instead of an easy path. Sometimes he gives you patience instead of instant answers. And sometimes he allows you to walk through darkness, not because he has left you, but because it's only in the dark that you learn to trust his light. Remember this, God is not just the giver of blessings, he is your companion. Each morning when you wake up, if you take a few minutes to pray, to listen, and to invite him into your day, you are charging your soul with divine strength. That's the secret of those who live under his grace. They don't start their day with fear or worrying. They start with prayer. True blessing isn't about having everything. It's about knowing that God is everything you need. When you know he's leading your steps, fear fades. Storms may come, but peace remains. Losses may happen, but hope stays. Pain may visit, but faith whispers. All things work together for good to those who love him. When you pray daily, don't just speak, listen. Because sometimes God doesn't answer with words. He answers with silence. And that silence doesn't mean absence. It means he's at work. In that stillness, your soul will begin to sense direction, comfort, or peace that the world could never provide. If you feel weak, remember this. You don't have to be strong on your own. God is your strength. When you fall, he lifts you. When you are lost, he lights the way. When you can't go on, he carries you. All he asks is that you trust him completely. Don't let prayer become a ritual. Let it become the breath of your soul. Speak to God with honesty, when you're happy, when you're broken, when you're grateful, or when you're lost. He isn't looking for perfect words. He's looking for a sincere heart. A complete blessing isn't found when you gain the world. It's found when you realize God is enough. When you let Him lead, even the smallest things in life begin to shine. A smile, a kind word, a quiet morning, or the peace that fills your heart. Each of these moments is a gift from heaven, and if you're listening to these words right now, it's not an accident. God is reminding you, keep praying, keep believing, keep walking. He is still working behind the scenes of your life, even if you can't see it yet. Remember this truth. Blessing doesn't come when you chase the world. It comes when you slow down and walk with God. Every prayer you whisper, every tear you shed, every breath you offer, He hears. He sees and He understands. Now, take a deep breath and whisper these words in your heart. Lord, I surrender everything into your hands. Lead me each day. Let me walk in your grace, live in your peace, and see your blessings in every moment of my life. If this message has touched your heart, consider leaving a small sign of faith today. Gently subscribe to this channel, so together we can grow in prayer, in peace, and in the presence of God each day. Because sometimes one prayer, one moment with God, can truly change your entire life.